Alright, this is Weapon X Reacts, and we're back with another video, and the death of the horror genre is about to begin, and I'm gonna be reviewing this movie called The Shining. I think this film is Stanley Kubrick's best movie, and is also known as one of the greatest horror movies of all time, because it was made in a time when Hollywood created entertainment, when they cared about the audience or the paying customer. But it's not like that anymore. Now it's all about pushing liberal, woke politics into everything. And another thing that's good about this movie is its themes. Its themes on madness and how a man can go mentally insane through the environment he's in. And this is perfectly portrayed through the character of Jack Torrance, because this character starts off as a different character. They start off as a normal man, and that sometimes he starts arguments with his wife, played by Shelley Duvall, who is no longer an actress because she was treated like trash with Stanley Kubrick. And Stanley Kubrick, he's a perfectionist. He cares about perfection. And if one take is not good enough, then he does another. And if that's not good, then another, and then another, and then another. He's a kind of like a weird director, because he does like these weird camera angles and shots. And that's why he's one of the greatest directors of all time, because his films really stand out. And also, they can be warnings on our modern society, like Eyes Wide Shut. That film was a warning on how corporations and how they work from the inside. And it's terrifying. That's why Eyes Wide Shut is his last movie, because he knew something that the audience didn't. He focused on the corporate elite, on how they work in cults. And it is a horror to realize that this happens in the real world. See that? You can't trust corporations. The only reason why is because you know who they really are. They are just parts of the Matrix. And that is what modern society is trying to take away from you. They're trying to take away your right of freedom of speech and everything else. It's because they think it's dangerous. They think it's toxic. And it's not! Okay? There's nothing wrong with freedom of speech. That is just your pathetic ass mind making you think that way. It's because you want to cancel people for having an opinion that's different to yours. And also, this director even said to Nicole Kidman that pedophiles rule the world. And he's not wrong. When you actually realize what he said, you will actually believe him. Because he knows about the Matrix. He knew about the Matrix. He knew about how messed up our society is. It's not just pedophiles. It's massive corporations. Your government doesn't have control over you. They don't care about you. They're just puppets to a much larger control. That's how it is. And this film, it portrays madness like it fits on a glove. And let me tell you this. This film was based on a novel by Stephen King. And I think maybe this was a good adaptation. Even though Stephen King may have a different opinion on it. I mean, it's his opinion. Maybe the film wasn't a good adaptation because his novel, it was a lot more darker than the movie. Because he even said that Stanley Kubrick's film was cold. Because in his book, he even said that the hotel was on fire. But in the film, it was said that it was frozen along with Jack Torrance. Do you know why this film is good? It's because of its performances, especially from Jack Nicholson. And Jack Nicholson, he proved himself as one of the greatest actors of all time. And he's retired. Yeah. So Hollywood retired Jack Nicholson. But they didn't allow Harrison Ford to retire. That just proves that Hollywood is not the same as it used to be. Stanley Kubrick, his films touch you in areas you don't want to be touched. Because they focus on themes that is something that might disturb you. Because of how realistic it is. I think maybe this film is a much better adaptation than how most adaptations are in modern Hollywood. Because Hollywood doesn't understand the source material. They don't care about the source material. They only care about writing their own personal agenda on the big screen. That's it. And if I want to say something, I have to say this. Go watch this film. You see from this review, it's supposed to give you a opportunity and a recommendation to go see this film. And this film is long, but it doesn't feel long. Because that's the problem with modern Hollywood. They make films that feel long. Movies need to earn their runtime. They don't need to be 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. Or else it will get boring for the viewer. And do you want to bore the viewer? No! You're an entertainer! So entertain! That's what you should do! That's why you exist! You exist to make movies! Not make garbage! Content that's out to push identity politics. Because that's not storytelling. Stories are supposed to entertain, not lecture the audience on some personal lecturing that all these woke leftists wants to push. They want to shove it down your throat, and they don't care. It's because they appreciate it. And the more they do it, the more insufferable they become. Do you know what I have to say about this film? It's a masterpiece. But there are some audience that may disagree with me. It's your opinion. I don't care about what you think of it. You may think that this film was an awful adaptation because of what Stephen King said about it. And also, I want to explain the ending. I've heard of it. Yeah. The ending shows Jack being a part of the hotel. And he's in a photo. And he's doing a pose. And do you know what that pose is supposed to symbolize? That is supposed to symbolize that he is no longer part of society. He is now part of something a lot more darker and satanic. Because this film, it's not for most audiences. It's dark. It's a really disturbing movie. But it's not as disturbing as most horror movies. No, this film is not disturbing, but its themes are disturbing. This film is graphic. It's violent. Because it all goes into the viewer's interpretation of the character. And Jack Torrance, he actually becomes violent when he goes insane. I think maybe this is the best portrayal of the human brain I have ever seen put to film. That is why this film is good. Because of how it dives right in to the human brain and how it can cause a human to go insane. This film is a warning on insanity. This film is insane. It really is. Because I think maybe this is just like American Psycho, but it's completely different. American Psycho was about conformity and how the main character was able to think of what he would do to society. Like, completely kill them. And also, when Jack Torrance became insane, he wanted to kill his own family. He wanted to kill his own son. And also, that actor that played Jack Torrance's son was amazing. Because this is his most terrified. And also, he was able to make this character terrified. Jack Torrance is generally terrifying in some scenes. And there is one scene where he's just staring into the camera, and I think it's one of the greatest acting ever put on the screen. It really is the best. Stanley Kubrick, he will be remembered as one of the greatest directors of all time. And he died because of something we're not sure of. Maybe he died, it's because he knew something that the hidden elite tried to hide. Because that's what these big corporations want to do. They don't want the truth to be told. They just want to keep the lie going. Don't let this happen. Do you know what I think about this film? I think maybe it gives accurate and descriptive, and there is an atmosphere in this film, and it's really strong. And the camera shots, the sets, the cinematography, all those to make an atmosphere that is so rich and atmospheric. We don't get this anymore. That's why Stanley Kubrick is good. Because he understands his audience. He knows how to trigger them. He knows how to manipulate his audience. Through camera shots. And the way how the actors contribute to their own characters. He lets the characters grow onto the audience. The audience grows with this character. No matter what. Do you know why Jack Torrance is so iconic? It's because of Jack Nicholson's performance. That's why. And Jack Nicholson, I mean, he's not dead. He's like 80 years old. And yeah, there's a reason why. There's a reason why he's a good actor. It's because he actually feels like he cares about the product. Like he cares about the audience. Because his performance in this was insane. The only thing that matters is the uncontrollable and the insane. That's what was going on into his mind. In his mind, when he stayed in the Overlook Hotel for so long, his mind decided to crack open just like that. And that is when he decided that he wanted to kill his own family. And Shelley Duvall's performance in this movie, damn is it good. Especially in the "Hey, here's Johnny" scene. Like, the character, like, she was actually terrified in that scene. You could feel everything coming out of that character. Because Shelley Duvall was pushed into this performance. Every single time when Jack Nicholson is on screen, you feel something. You feel something deep that you already realize that he's not messing around. That he actually wants to kill his wife. Yeah, I think maybe the character's, that Shelley Duvall's character's name was Wendy. Well, you know what, who cares? Yeah, and also Danny Torrance. I think maybe the actor's performance was good. It really was. One of the greatest of his career. But you know what? Yeah. Danny Torrance's actor stopped acting because he thought it was boring. He even said in an interview. Yeah. Then he decided to pursue something else. So it's just like all those other actors that left Hollywood to pursue something else. And you know what? Actors are leaving Hollywood now. It's because they're sick and tired of being in that place. Because that place, it chews you up and spits you out. It's not just that. It's also the woke agendas that are in there. Now, these actors, they just want to entertain people. That's their job. And it's good that these actors know this. It's because they're more realistic than most actors. That's why. And that's why I don't give a shit about Hollywood anymore. It's because I'm sick and tired of them pushing these woke agendas down my throat. Because I don't care about it. The only thing I care about is entertainment. That's what matters. And if I actually want to give you the chance to watch this film, go watch it. It's gonna be worth your time. Don't waste your time with woke Hollywood disasters, and enjoy great films. Films that will change the perspective of the viewer. Because that's what this film does. It makes you think differently about this main character. And the main character, he becomes insane for one reason. It's because of the Overlook Hotel. And the Overlook Hotel, the reason why he went insane, it's because he was in the Overlook Hotel. And the Overlook Hotel, there's something so dark about it. Like, it had a disturbing past to it. Like the two twins. And this film has been memed to death. Like the "Here's Johnny" and the Red Rum stuff. When you actually watch this film, you're gonna realize that red rum is actually murder backwards. I think maybe that part is supposed to be a warning for Jack Torrance's family that he's not holding back and that he's gonna kill them. And also, what are your thoughts on this film? Do you think it's a masterpiece? Do you think it will stand out as Stanley Kubrick's best? Do you think Stanley Kubrick will be remembered of this film? Let me know in the comments below. Also, anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now, and always remember, strike back like a weapon against wokeness.